This seminar is focused on jazz music, and assumes audience has adequate proficiency on their instrument. When you write a chart, you must always put yourself in the sight reader's chair. Consider the relevance and the relationship. Sight reading skill is to translate brain to hand. You must be able to handle your instrument without thinking the fingerings, hand positions, etc. It is the same as book reading. You must be fluent in the language to be able to perform book reading in public. Most of the sight reading failure comes from pressure. You must calm yourself. You need to relax but stay focused. Can't be distracted. Relaxing and focusing are not two opposite things. The goal is to read 2 bars ahead. You must be reading at least 2 beats ahead. Draw imaginary lines per subdivision. At the very first, go through the entire piece and red pencil in if necessary. Make sure you notice the pulse changes if any. For example, old dotted quarter in 6/8 time signature, ebicones half and 4/4 time signature. Same as time signature, make sure there will be no surprises down the load. Most of the music is written in even numbered groups. Evenly dividable rule may not apply to modern music and Brazilian songs. Watch out, pencil divisions by phrases if necessary. In most cases, 16 bars into 8 bars each. 8 bars into 4 bars each. 4 bars into 2 bars each. 2 bars can be felt 4 pulses, which can be divided into 2 pulses each. 2 beats per measure. Exception. One of the typical phrasings in bossa nova music.
Falei-me, Deus, é o fim do nosso amor. Perdoa, por favor. Eu sei que o erro aconteceu, mas não sei o que fez tudo mudar de vez. Onde foi que eu errei? Eu só sei que amei, que amei, que amei, que amei. Será talvez?
Here are the following discussion topics. Rhythm. By subdividing, you will be able to come back when dropped out. The worst thing is getting lost. In 4/4 and 6/8, pulses 2 beat each, subdivide a measure in half. In 3/4, the pulse may be each quarter beat or 1 measure if fast tempo. Feel the pulse. 5/4 can be pulse group of 3 and 2 or 2 and 3. 7/8 is usually 3 pulses plus a half. You must be familiar with the style of the music to catch the typical patterns such as offbeat patterns in jazz and Brazilian music. Pitches. If you are not comfortable with reading pitches, then you must practice separately. Accidentals. You must memorize the first occurrence so you do not forget the carryover within the measure. Changes. You are sight reading. There is no time to analyze. Granted, you should be able to see the usual progressions such as I2-5 motion, 5-1 motion, sub-5 to pull out a cool bricks, but in general you need to see the safe notes without analyzing. If your instrument is transposed, you must be able to read C part. If your instrument is in C, it is always good to be able to read at least B flat and E flat parts. Rhythm example 1. This is an 8 bars phrase but is not printed in 4 bars each, which could trick you. It may be easier to pencil in a 4 bars marker. See, drawing the line makes it easier to fill the phrases. Imagine or pencil in the pulse subdivisions. Doing this, you can catch up after making a mistake or dropping out. Notice the benefit on bar 7. Sing the rests. Singing the rest is very important, especially when the rhythm is off the beat. Use syllables such as oomph to be groovy. Know the standard articulation when not clearly marked. Pay attention to bar 5. The quarter note is almost always short in this pattern. Next, complex time signatures. See the pulse and sing the rests. An example to fill the pulse is shown. There are a few different ways to see the pulse depending on the music presented. This is just one of them. When 3/4 is written this way, you need to feel a group of 3/8 notes. Pitch. The best way to practice accidentals for modern American music is omnibook. Sing the pitches along the lines and the spaces to memorize the position. The same goes when the ledger lines. Sing up for above the stuff, and sing down for below the stuff. Now the bass clef and its ledger lines. Why tenor clef? Trombone range is up to B flat, or even second D, above middle C, and tenor clef is used above G. And the ledger lines for the tenor clef. Changes. This is the first 8 bars of one of my compositions called Dan Dan Dan. As you can see, finding the proper chord scales may not be easy on sight reading situation. Let's take a look at bar 9 and 10. Are all these minor chords Dorian? Is A flat 7 straight mixo or Lydian flat 7? As a composer, I intended first 2 minor chords to be Dorian, but F sharp minor 7 is Aeolian, and A flat 7 to be straight mixo, despite the fact it looks a sub 5, but you won't know that sign. There is no theoretical basis for this. Take a look at the F sharp minor 7 at the bar 10. Draw a keyboard up in the air. All these 4 notes are safe to play no matter what. Let's take a look at the following A flat 7. Because it's our dominant chord, many non-diatonic notes can be considered as altered tensions, while there are a few that cannot be a part of it. See the bad notes to be avoided. What is a void note? Don't want to start with, don't want to hold with, don't want to stop with, and don't want to jump to. Let's view them in a sequence. The Coltrane way 1 2 3 5 is consistent throughout the majority of the modes. The exception is Phrygian, which is rare if not diatonic functioning 3, and Locrian, which is obvious and you know what to do. Next, we talk about transposing. Reading a B flat parted 2 flats and read everything second below written. Note that adding 2 flats means 1 sharp becomes 1 flat. And this is how it will be. This skill also helps you reading tenor clef. Reading a E flat part. Add 3 flats and read everything as if the clef is a bass clef instead of a treble clef. Note that adding 3 flats means 1 sharp becomes 2 flats. Add 3 flats and read everything as if the clef is a bass clef instead of a treble clef. And add 3 flats. Notice the F sharp on the third measure, because one of the added flat matches that position, applying a natural to raise the pitch. This takes some practice to get used to. Practice, practice, practice. Here is a book recommendation. It is called Modus Vetus. Thank you for watching, and good luck. Enjoy practicing.